start with you. There's this hunger for a foreign university degree. Has it been assuaged by the idea of a foreign university having an Indian campus, or people will still want to go abroad?
Yeah, it's a difficult question to answer because these discussions about the foreign universities started almost a decade ago.
Yes.
But until recently, things have changed a lot because most of the discussions were about establishing greenfield universities in the country. But if you look at the latest UGC regulations, you can see that the government of India is promoting various types of foreign universities, including joint venture kind of partnerships with the existing Indian institutions and also partnership with companies. But of course, that answering that question, whether Indian students would be interested in these universities or whether still they are interested in going abroad, that's again, it depends on a kind of analysis of the functioning of foreign universities in the country, because so far only 2 institutions have started their programs in the country.
Which ones are these?
Sorry?
Which are these 2 institutions?
These 2 are from Australia,
Okay.
University of Wollongong and Deakin University. Both have started their campuses in Gujarat because the national education policy strongly recommended for establishing campuses of foreign university in 2020. But in 2022, the Honorable Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sadarangani, in her budget speech, she said that the government of Gujarat is promoting Gift City and the government of Gujarat is attracting foreign universities to Gujarat, and the government of India created an act for attracting foreign universities to Gujarat. And these 2 universities from Australia, these Deakin and Wollongong, both have started their operations in Gujarat and on the basis of that separate Gift City Act. But the latest act by the University Grants Commission, that is entirely different from the first draft act of the University Grants Commission. And, but sadly, not much discussion happened in the country because this act talks about various models of foreign universities in the country, not just greenfield campuses in the country. And these are very important in the Indian context because whether these decisions or policy changes or establishment of foreign campuses would be able to arrest the number of students going abroad, that is very difficult because a lot of things depend on the kind of recognition that will be received by the degrees awarded by these institutions and also the kind of regulatory atmosphere in the country. For instance, one of the courses says that the courses that will be offered by these foreign universities should be approved by the University Grants Commission, whether that would be acceptable to the foreign university coming to the country, how many of these institutions are interested. And similarly, this is 2024 is year of elections and many universities are interested to come to India. But this election year, they are also very cautious because education in India comes under concurrent list because state governments also have to say in, also have a say in giving recognition to the institutions because of course government of Gujarat invited foreign institutions, but some of the institutions, because I work with the National Institute of Education Planning and Administration in Delhi, and while working there, some of the foreign universities consulted me also. They wanted to know more about the regulatory structure in the states, especially the South India. Because some of the universities were interested to establish campuses in cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, etc. But the first act of the government of India was mainly for Gujarat. But the recent act says that, of course, they can establish campuses anywhere in the country and also multiple campuses. They can have a campus in a city like Mumbai or Bangalore or...
I wonder why there was, Gujarat was mentioned, right?
Yeah.
But how has Kerala benefited from it? What can Kerala do to attract foreign universities?
Kerala recently passed...
Yeah, I think bring it up.
Kerala recently...
A little more.
Sorry. Kerala approved the Kerala State Higher Education Policy last year, and it talks about promoting international partnerships in certain areas where the state universities are lacking expertise.
So have you done that with specific universities?
No, there's no mention about promoting foreign universities, but Kerala government is also now liberal because there are recent discussions, talks about allowing private universities in the state. Kerala is probably one of the few states which doesn't have private universities, but the state government is going liberal in that.
So you think foreign universities will be the next step?
I'm not in a position to comment at this.
Right. Amrita, can I bring you in? Because you've recently come out of a partnership, building such a partnership with a university in Gujarat. Talk about your experience there and the whole idea, as I was asking Eldho, this hunger for a foreign degree, is it still very much there and, is it assuaged by these partnerships and these universities setting up campus here?
I think there's a lot of, demand for foreign education in India, from India, in foreign places and in India. So I think this is very interesting because you look at that whole universe. Who wants foreign education?
Yeah.
A student wants it because they want to experience something new. A parent wants it because they think that that's going to add value to their child's development. Government wants foreign universities to participate in India, to expand the offering both in quantity and quality. And where does this all go? In my view, Edinburgh, I've worked with the University of Edinburgh for 14 years. As of last week, I moved over to Ashoka University in a new role to build global research alliances. And what I've learned from engaging in this space is that there are multiple ways to do this now in India. So India is opening up, and not only because of the new education policy. This project that I was involved in to build Gujarat Biotechnology University, which is a state government university promoted by the Department of Science and Technology in Gujarat, not the national department, was an ambition to change how talent is delivered to their very important life science industry, and how industry-friendly and challenge-led research and products are delivered to Gujarat and to the rest of India in biotech. So this whole idea and discussion was ongoing from 2017, which completely predated NEP. And the model was co-created between the University of Edinburgh and the government of Gujarat, very forward-thinking, looking at how this is the ecosystem we have. How do we deliver what we want in that current ecosystem?
But it took you 7 years, Amrita.
It took 4 years to create the model. It took 2 years during which I was executive director to the partnership, working on the ground with the government to actually set up a university with foreign input. So Edinburgh is delivering a bespoke curriculum, futuristic pedagogy, 40% of students' time in the lab so that when they go to industry, they are not, they know what to do. Edinburgh has mentored the development of research and also policies. It's really important. How a university functions will determine how they engage with industry, how they deliver to entrepreneurship and innovation and impact, which all of us know that for universities to survive, we need to do that. So this is the government asking a foreign university to come and play within the rules, to push the rules, to create something that we all need.
And are you doing something similar with Ashoka?
Ashoka University, as we know, is a leading private university. They're very strongly embedded in the social sciences, and the ambition is to grow in science and in a big way. And collaboration is the way forward. So it's about engaging from Ashoka outwards across the world. And so that's a different...
Yeah. Michaela, I'd like to come to you before I go back to Amrita, because I'd like to ask Amrita about the whole idea that do you really need a foreign university degree? And kids out there, and their parents especially who spend lakhs and lakhs need to know that. So I want to ask you, Germany has suddenly become top of the pops for Indian students, right? So talk a little about how that has happened. Is it also a part of the policy of the government to be more welcoming to people from other cultures and other nations? Because we see a lot of pushback in other countries to immigrants.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, first of all, for inviting me for the second time after last year to this enclave. I feel very honored. I mean, academic exchange is something that has happened throughout the centuries.
Right.
I mean, that's what academia lives on.
Yeah.
That's exchange with
And Germany has been very close to India in terms of Indology, yes.
Exactly, it has been very close to India. Actually, it was a German who made Sanskrit popular in Europe.
Of course, Max Müller.
Yes, so you know everything about that. And academic research, academic exchange is always high on the agenda of the German and Indian government. We are going to have intergovernmental negotiations in the autumn of this year. and it will be there on the agenda. Lately, the number of Indian students to Germany has risen from 35,000 in 2022 to now almost 45,000. And there are still some in the pipeline, and towards the end of the year, the numbers are going to rise again. We are very happy with this development. Indian students now constitute the largest group of international students in Germany. Before it was the Chinese, now it's Indian students. There are some clusters like Dresden or Aachen or other places where already Indian students are.
Right.
So they tend to go to places
Right.
where they find compatriots.
And they don't necessarily have to know German, right?
They don't necessarily have to learn German. There are some full-fledged English courses, English 100%. But a new model is also to promote studying in Germany already here in India. So a student would start his program here.
Right.
He would start studying on bachelor or master here, and in parallel would learn German. Once he goes to Germany after 1 or 2 years and continue his studies, his or her studies, of course, then at first the program will be in English, but English will be less and less, and with the knowledge in German rising, and at the end it will be 80, 90, 100% in German, and the student will be able to finish his program in German, and that's another advantage, I think, of studying in Germany. He will be allowed to stay on for another 18 months to find a job in Germany.
So which are the areas that Indian students seem to be moving towards?
Well, it's mostly in, what's it called, in natural sciences,
Right.
like mathematics. Also, medicine is very complicated because of many regulations, but engineering is very high on the agenda, especially here in the south. All natural sciences, actually.
And do you see that most of them end up getting jobs there? Because that's really the aim eventually.
Actually, I don't have any statistics at hand because some go back also for personal reasons, and I think that's fair enough. But many will be able to find jobs because the labor market in Germany is very favorable to receive qualified labor. But I wanted also to comment on what you said, and I think having a foreign degree, it's not just about having a degree, but it's going abroad means that you grow as a person. And this is something that is really the interest in going abroad.
Right. Amrita, that is true, but it costs the parents a lot. So really, what would you recommend to a youngster who is desperately wanting to go abroad for a foreign degree, when in a way the action is all here in India?
I think India is the most interesting place to be at the moment. But for a young person who's first, tasting independence, they want to be away and create their own space. And if the family can afford it, then that is what usually happens. But whether it is affordable or there's a loan or it's just not affordable, I think for students to choose a degree or a university is really much more about understanding who they are and what they want. That doesn't mean that today, okay, I want to be an engineer because it's going to pay me very well because I'm going to do engineering or be a CEO. That is learning today, as I think it was Ruchi from LinkedIn who said, it's about being able to learn constantly. So are you getting the education where you are able to continuously learn and understand yourself and the world around you? I don't think any of the young people today can expect to be in the same profession their entire working lives. Yeah. That is not possible. You don't know if your job is going to exist. It's about also what India needs. The earlier political debates that we had in the morning talked a lot about growth of the country in an equitable and inclusive manner. What does that mean? Does that mean getting jobs? No, it means creating jobs. It means addressing the challenges that we have today on hand. It means being able to address the challenges of the future. Is the university you are going to be able to equip you to be flexible and always learn? So my response to foreign universities or Indian universities is that please understand why you are choosing this. Being open and, if you can afford it, and going out into the world, understanding different cultures, being able to relate to different people is a massive learning curve, and it does help in development and being able to be flexible. So that is an integral part of education. So when it comes to foreign campuses in India, how are these, I think it's a great idea, but I think what India should see is a diversity of foreign and Indian higher education institutions coming together to deliver what India needs.
Right, and the whole argument that, you know, you need to maybe do your undergrad in India first and then perhaps look, develop a little work, get a little work experience and then go abroad. What's your take on that?
If you have an undergrad institution in India that teaches you to be curious and challenge and think your own way, why not stay here?
Yeah.
Right?
It's so much cheaper. Eldho, what's your take on that? What's the situation in Kerala? Does it contribute a lot to the people seeking foreign degrees in terms of percentages? I'm not aware of the numbers.
Yeah, Kerala
Just speak into the mic, please.
in recent years, Kerala also witnessing the growth in the number of students going abroad. And the government of Kerala, under the Kerala State Higher Education Council, constituted a committee to study the reasons for the sudden growth of numbers of students going abroad.
What is the percentage growth been?
Percentage, the committees, the report is in the draft stage. And also, getting the accurate numbers is very difficult due to this privacy concern, because most of the diplomatic missions do not share information about the number of visas granted to respective countries. But of course, from a few districts in Kerala, there has been
And where has the move been? To which countries?
mainly to Europe and also to North America.
Right. So what do you attribute this to? Is it because of the lack of proper facilities in your state, or is it just the hunger to go abroad?
I don't think that it has nothing to do with the facilities or the courses available in the state or in the country, because students are looking for better job opportunities and they want to settle abroad. And for their
They haven't heard of Donald Trump coming back.
yeah, of course, there are challenges even in students facing issues in Australia and all these things, but still students want to use this channel for migrating to foreign countries.
Right. Why can't Kerala become a hub? For instance, the Gulf has become a hub for so many foreign universities. Kerala can do the same, right? Setting up campuses there.
Yeah,
Then you don't need to go to the Gulf at all.
I personally feel that South India has a lot of potential to establish education hubs, mainly because of the cosmopolitan nature of the states.
And also existence of industry, and there's so many other things.
Yeah, and also the best example is Coimbatore, because Coimbatore during the last few years, the number of African students coming to a small city like Coimbatore has been increasing. The main reason is that African students have been facing a lot of issues in North Indian cities.
Of course.
And in Tamil Nadu, they are getting a welcoming atmosphere, and they prefer, because I conducted a survey among African students also, they prefer South India over North Indian cities. That doesn't mean that the flow of students have been fully channelized to South India, but the increase in the number of students coming to Coimbatore is a good example to how South India can position as promoting different education hubs in different states.
So do you see it happening in the next few years?
Yeah, that's no, because the state governments in the South Indian states are not doing much to promote the states as education hubs, because private institutions have a bigger role in the states, and they are doing their job to attract students, and they are getting students also.
Right. Amrita, I just wanted to ask you, what about in Ashoka setting up a campus abroad? Why not?
I'm too new to comment on that. But one thing I did want to say is that, one of the drivers for students to go abroad is about the jobs.
Yeah.
Right? And there are jobs in India, but how much do they pay?
Yeah.
Right? So the employability, the quality of life, the opportunity overall is something that is a challenge. So there are students and families who get very mathematical about their decision, right? So it's about saying, okay, if I'm going to pay this much, I'm going to go there, but what is the job I'm going to get? And that's one of the things we are debating even with the Gujarat project, that if we are churning out MSc biotechs of very high quality, who are ready to work in industry without having to go through a 6-month or 1 year finishing school and then move somewhere else once they are ready to work. Is industry ready to take them up and give them a fair and attractive salary?
Yeah.
How much of the innovation ecosystem are we setting up to give them an alternate route? Because these are very bright, young, ambitious people. Do we have adequate entrepreneurial ecosystem and infrastructure everywhere across our universities and creating these hubs where countries in the UK, there are so many hubs in the UK, there are hubs in Germany, they all bring the university research ecosystem together, and then the money comes to support that startup culture. That is something we Indians are known to be startup friendly, the whole system is booming, but are we doing enough?
Right. Michaela, one last question to you. If a student wants to go to Germany, what are the two or three skills he or she needs to have?
Well, first of all, I would like to refer to the question of costs.
Yeah.
In Germany,
is Germany less expensive?
In Germany, we think that education, good education, should be free. And the overwhelming majority of universities in Germany are public universities which do not charge for studies except for when they are offered in English. But if you study as a normal student, you pay your semester fee, which is about 200, 300 euros, including the ticket for public transport, which alone is worthwhile in Berlin, for instance, 1,000 euros a year. So it's really,
But you have to know German.
We think you should get good education for free. That is one thing. Well, it would help to learn German because it would help you to get the most out of your stay there. You would be much more able to integrate into German society, to learn about Germany, so that would help, but it's not a prerequisite. It's not a prerequisite.
So what are the top two skills?
I would say openness of mind and good academic qualifications, and also the will to bring India to the world.
Right.
And what I see here as my task is, because we already have 45,000 Indian students in Germany and there are going to be more, but I want also German students to come to India.
Right.
Last semester, for instance, there were 12 German students at the IIT Madras, and I think I would love if there were 100, and that applies to any university. So I'm very glad that, for instance, University of Dresden 2 months ago signed an MOU with IIT Madras, with Anna University, to cooperate much better and much stronger together, so that there will be a real exchange and a balanced exchange between both countries.
Wonderful. We could go on forever, but we have to call it a day. We have lots more sessions. Thank you so much for all this information. I hope it was useful to the students at the back. Thank you very much.